Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat?
So now the Falcons in victory formation with 26 seconds. The Falcons will move to 5-6, but 3-0 in the division. The Saints will also be 5-6, but 1-2 in the division. Tough to see. The final score, 24-15.
Mike Hoss on the call there on the Saints Radio Network. This is nauseating having to do this. Saints lose in Atlanta 24-15. With about 24 hours since the game went final, it's given me a little time to think about this game. And if you actually want the immediate, guttural, unedited reaction from your boy, you can go to my personal YouTube channel. It's there. Warning, explicit content. Sometimes in life we can't really hear a message until we're receptive to it. You know what I mean? Like, think about if you're a parent. Think about it. How many times do you tell your kids things that it doesn't really resonate until they're old enough to be ready to hear the message? Say, oh, I get what you were trying to tell me all those years. Clean your room, make your bed, eat your vegetables. Hey, nothing good ever happens after midnight. But when you're a kid, you're dumb and you go out after midnight anyway. And then when you get older, you realize, yeah, it's probably time to take it to the house. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just age, experience, wisdom. As time goes along and a sample size grows or evidence grows, things become apparent. And too often we have to learn things the hard way. So I'm right now going to say a few things today that you have heard me say for more than a year. But I'm going to guess these are things which many of you have heard me say and called me a hater, that now you're going to be receptive to hearing. How about this one? Hey, Muse, finish this sentence for me. You have to listen to me talk every day, unfortunately. Dennis Allen is a
lieutenant, not a general.
Give yourself a ding. My guy, he listens from time to time. How you feel about that one today, Saints fans? Derek Carr has a higher... Muse, no, let's play the game. Derek Carr has a...
higher ceiling floor. Higher floor.
So he pays attention sometimes. Derek Carr has a higher floor, but a lower ceiling. How do you feel about that one today? The Saints aren't winning a championship with Derek Carr. Things I've said. Things many of you called me a hater. Why do you hate Derek Carr? I don't hate Derek Carr. Derek Carr's in year 10 of his NFL career. I have a large enough sample to make a very educated opinion on Derek Carr. Saints should draft a quarterback because you have the potential to win big. Not saying it's guaranteed. The potential to win big is there. What would you be more confident in right now? A Saints team that had the opportunity to, draft C.J. Stroud? Or a Saints team that paid $150 million to Derek Carr? The Saints are desperately trying to recreate what was instead of focusing on what could be. All things that I've said now for more than a year. And all things that have had many of you crapping on me. That's okay. I'm not offended by it. You're fans, just like I am. The Saints are part of my core, part of my fabric, part of my being. I want them to be great, always. I live and bleed and die with them like you do as well. I just get paid to give you honest opinions. So I have to look at it through a prism of someone giving you an honest opinion and not someone who's just a diehard fan. All these things. Are you ready to hear them now? Because Derek Carr is in year 10 in the NFL. And in his previous 9 seasons, he made the playoffs once. And you can blame the organization. You can blame the coach. You can blame the owner. You can blame all that stuff. You know what else I know? Joe Burrow went to a crap organization that was nicknamed the Bungles. And in year 2 had him in the Super Bowl. Let's get real. Transcendent quarterbacks make their teams and their organizations better. Derek Carr is not one of them. He is making you worse. You are not getting an ROI. You gave that man $150 million. Are you any better today than you were with Andy Dalton? The answer is unequivocally no. I mean, I could go on and on and on, y'all. You probably get the point now. Guessing many of you understand. You're just receptive to it now. 444 yards for the Saints offense. 444 yards for the Saints offense. Derek Carr was 24 of 38 for 304 and a pick. If that ain't the empty yards emperor, then I don't know what is. I ain't even standing for this clown anymore. He had 5 red zone possessions and didn't score once. You realize the only drives for the New Orleans Saints that didn't end up in Atlanta territory where you're 3 and out to open the game and your drive at the end of the first half? That's it. Every other drive you went into Atlanta territory and you kicked 5 field goals. There's a guy named Josh Dubow. I don't know who he is, don't really care. But he's got a verified Twitter account and he works for the Associated Press. And he tweeted something interesting. The Saints have scored 3 touchdowns on their last 32 possessions. And the touchdowns came on 2 passes from Jameis Winston when Carr was hurt and 1 pass from Taysom Hill when Derek Carr was on the sideline. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to go look this up. The last time the New Orleans Saints scored a touchdown with Derek Carr at quarterback was in the first half against the Bears when he threw a touchdown pass to Taysom Hill. That's the last time the Saints scored a touchdown with Derek Carr at quarterback. And you know the crazy thing, too, is your division is so heinous that you're still not out of it. DraftKings has Atlanta plus 130 to win the South. The Saints are plus 120. That's how awful this division is. The Bucs are 4-7, and they're 1 game out of the division. And every break is falling your way, man. You get Bryce Young in week 2. Rookie quarterback week 2, right? In theory, you want to get a rookie quarterback early. The more the season goes along, the better it'll get. You get him in week 2 on the road. You get Jordan Love in week 3 against Green Bay. So not only do you get Jordan Love in his first year as the starter early in the season, but you get to play at Green Bay when the weather is beautiful. You got a punt return for a touchdown in that game for the first time since 2019, and you still lost. Every team in the division had a new starting quarterback. You got to play Indianapolis after Anthony Richardson was hurt. You got to play Minnesota after Kirk Cousins was hurt. You got to play the Bears after Justin Fields was hurt. You have the easiest schedule in the league. And you're sitting here at 5-6, staring up at the Atlanta Falcons in your crappy division. You're just hanging on by a fingernail in the worst division in football because of your little lieutenant head coach and your empty yards emperor quarterback. No, I'm not a hater, y'all. I'm not a hater. I love the Saints. And for whatever it's worth, Derek Carr seems like an amazing human. Great man, husband, father, Christian, all that stuff. The things that actually matter in life. I would much rather you be a great human being than a great quarterback. You're better for society that way. But Derek Carr is not a great quarterback. He's never been a great quarterback. At his very best, something else you've heard me say, at his very best, he's pushing around the top 10 of the NFL at his very best. And he is not at his very best. I'm not a hater. I was just willing to accept this reality, bold underscore, reality, before many of you were. Go play out the string. They'll win. So they're not done winning. They'll win, they'll lose, they'll finish somewhere around 500, 9-8, 8-9, because that's what bad teams in the NFL do. And you might even luck up and win the worst division in football. And if you do, you'll lose in the first round of the playoffs, and maybe that'll give your ownership a false sense of security, like you're going in the right direction because you made the playoffs. But if you are actually willing to accept the reality is clear. This franchise is backsliding. They are no closer to being a championship team today than they were the day Sean Payton walked out the door. And I'm not saying bring back Sean Payton because those days are gone. He's never coming back. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have got to have an alpha. You have to have the tip of the spear, the head of the snake. You've got to have the guy that is the unquestioned head of your organization. The Saints don't have it. They are a leaderless army. That's why they fold in key situations. Late game scenarios, goal line scenarios, red zone scenarios. Why are they the worst red zone team in the NFL? Derek Carr has been the worst red zone quarterback in the NFL during his tenure. That's not me being a hater. That's objective fact with a 9-year sample. This guy struggles in the red zone. It's what it is. Execution, decision-making, whatever. He can't do it. And it's not going to improve. So play out the string. Go lose to Detroit at home. Maybe you beat Carolina because everybody beats Carolina. Maybe you slip up and find a way to win a bad division. But the reality is, and everyone should accept it at this point, that you missed with your head coach. You wasted a big pile of money on Derek Carr. And you've got to change those two things this offseason. You have got to fire Dennis Allen, and you've got to bring in a rookie quarterback because it's the only way around Derek Carr's contract. You guaranteed him $100 million of the $150. You can't off-ramp until 2026. So you're financially committed to Carr for 3 years. So make him the most well-paid clipboard holder in the NFL next year. Draft your franchise quarterback for the first time since Archie Manning and see if you can get this thing going in a different direction. Because with this crew, it's not happening. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.